Hi, everybody. This is Tony Marcolini. Welcome to It May Interest You to Know. I'm flying solo today because my co-host Seamus McDonough is doing a charity event. But I am joined today by a very special guest, legendary baseball pitcher Tommy John. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, I knew you were here once before, and I got so many emails afterwards saying, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? So I figured it might be easier to have you come back than explain to everybody why I missed, I guess, so many questions. The more obvious ones that I guess that I didn't talk to you too much about were your actual games, when you were playing in the World Series and when you were playing in the, playoff games, how that was different than when you were playing in an ordinary game. I mean, do you bring anything extra to those type games?
No.
No.
It was the same. I mean, pitching is pitching, whether it's during the season. It only becomes different if you as a pitcher make it different.
Sure. Now,
see, I can make a game. I can make a game as tough or as easy as I want by the way I approach it.
Now, did it change based upon who you were against? Like if you knew you were going to pitch against Tom Seaver, was that more daunting to you?
I love pitching against the better pitchers because they just, if we scored some runs, it made it easier because they aren't expecting it. And I think my hitters played better also.
That's interesting. I mean, was there a pitcher that you admired when you were playing?
Myself. I liked Jim Cott.
Oh. Okay, so it's not the usual suspects. I guess I was thinking maybe like a Nolan Ryan or a Tom Seaver.
Gotta be shit. Especially those guys.
Wow.
Unless you stop during a game and tell them how good they were.
Wow. Okay. So was there a particular stadium that you liked pitching in better than others?
Yes, I love White Sox Park. I love Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium. And I love Dodger Stadium.
Oh, sure. Those were great ones.
Well, they're good. They're big. So I can make a mistake on a pitch or two and not have it fly out of the park for a home run.
What about all those years when you were in the National League and you were hitting as well?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Home runs.
5 home runs.
5 home runs.
Did you have a pitcher you like to hit against?
If they threw strikes, I'd love to hit against them.
Did you practice your hitting with just as much?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We took batting practice every single day. Every single day we took batting practice.
Do you think you had any advantage by being a pitcher? I mean, you kind of could get in the mind of the person pitching to you better than the average player.
I don't know. I never really thought about it. I'll have to give that some thought.
Fair enough. Now, when last time you talked about who you didn't really like when they came up to bat, you were always a little bit worried. But who, when they came up to bat, did you feel like I have his number? I'm going to strike him out.
Who's that?
Who? I'm sorry.
You had whose number?
Like when that person came up to bat, like that you were thinking, I can strike this person out. This person can't hit me.
I never thought ever about striking anybody out because I was not a strikeout pitcher.
You had over 2,200 strikeouts, though. Even
That's yeah, and those happen. those just happen. I'm not a strikeout pitcher. I never tried to strike anybody out. If I did, I probably would have won 50% less games.
Wow, that's interesting. I mean, I know really your sinker ball was your pitch.
That's it. You want to throw sinker, 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 and you hit ground ball, ground ball, ground ball, and I would be happier than a pig rolling in mud.
Well, growing up, did you have a sports hero?
Yeah, Robin Roberts.
Wow.
Hank Sauer with the Cubs, because I was a Cub fan growing up in Terre Haute, Indiana, and a Philly fan.
Did you ever get to meet them?
I beat Robin Roberts for my first major league win.
Oh my goodness. Well, what's that
And
like?
I never let him forget it.
Well, what was that like? Somebody that you had admired for, when you were your formative years, and suddenly you're pitching against them. Yeah, personally.
I just pitched. My job was to pitch, and I wanted to try to throw the fewest amount of pitches I could to get off the field and back in the dugout so my guys could hit. And that was my goal. I didn't try to strike guys out. I didn't try to throw this pitch or that pitch. I wanted to throw the least amount of pitches that I could.
Agreed. Agreed. You have a much cooler surgery to be associated with. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know last time you talked about having the surgery and how it got its name, that the surgeon would always refer back to, oh yeah, the surgery I did on Tommy John. And that's kind of how
exactly. And that's how it got to be Tommy John surgery. Yep, exactly.
And do you ever feel the enormity of that? I mean, every day I open the newspaper, I'm the kind of person who reads it cover to cover, and you're always reading about somebody who's getting Tommy John surgery. So you kind of live on, immortally with that surgery. Do you ever think about the enormity of that, like to have something like that named after you?
No, I needed a surgery, and Dr. Job was there to do it. And like I told him, if you do your job, I will more than do my job.
And you did the rehab.
And he did his job, and I more than did my job.
Oh, arguably you came back almost better. Right? They nicknamed you the Bionic Man.
Well, that's because I had body parts from all over.
Do you have a favorite game that you ever pitched in? And also a worst game you ever pitched in? Do you have a game that you remember and think like you cringe when you remember it?
No. Because every game I pitched the best I could. Sometimes it wasn't that good. Sometimes it was good. But I remember my first start in the major league. And then I remember my start in the playoffs, 19, we're trying to get into our parking place there, and people were boxing us out. It was the playoffs when I beat it was the Phillies Dodgers in 1981, and I beat Steve Carlton.
And that's quite a moment, right?
Yes, that was the best game I ever pitched.
Wow.
The best game I ever pitched.
Wow, and that I mean, a big game against another big pitcher.
Yeah, and he was good. Believe me when I tell you that. He was good, very good.
Who would you say were among the better pitchers?
Well, Marichelle Gibson, Koufax, Robin Roberts, Drysdale, Jim Cott, Nolan Ryan, Jim Palmer, Tommy John.
Yeah, it's true. You are on every list.
I was as good a pitcher as there was in the game.
Agreed. Agreed. What was the off season like for you in that regard? I mean, I'm thinking, did you become a couch potato in the off season, or did you practice and work at keeping in shape?
When you have 4 children, you do not become a couch potato. Sorry.
I'll give you that one too. And sure, and you only had shorter periods of time, I guess, to really focus on your kids because of all the traveling.
Yeah. And we would go on a vacation and we would do all these things, and we had a good time, the kids and I. Even my daughter, and she was what's the word you want to use?
Bratty?
No, she wasn't bratty. She was just, she knew who she was.
Confident?
And she knew what she wanted to do, and do not get in her way to do it.
I like confident.
Because she'll run over you.
Well, I like the word confident for that.
Okay. Yep. She was very confident. And she was highly, highly, highly intelligent. That's why she went to Duke and was on the dean's list for 4 years.
Oh, that's so nice. I mean, what now? You got those opportunities. It sounds like she was a lot like you. So I don't know. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That was a bad thing.
Yeah. That's spoken like a true parent. Nobody likes when they get a little bit of them driven right back in their direction.
Exactly.
So I got a lot of emails about this. And so
Yep.
I have to throw it out there. And
Okay.
everyone said, why didn't you ask him about the Hall of Fame? And
It's in Cooperstown.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. But everybody said, well, why didn't you ask him about? I mean, I don't really like the question myself. I know
What
this
do you want to know about the Hall of Fame?
Well,
What do you
people
want to know
how do you feel about, not being inducted, at least at this point in the Hall of Fame?
I don't have any control over it.
Right.
I don't
get
have
that.
any control over it. No, none whatsoever.
I get it. And it's so unfair. I mean, I think a lot of your fans, and that was even a lot of the chatter on Facebook, that it was people think it was really unfair. You're noted as one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And there's this, this lack of acknowledgement in this way. We can all agree that they kind of hold that out as the the Academy Awards version, and to have not, and arguably there have been many of famous wonderful actors who were never bestowed with an Academy Award, so it in no way diminishes it in no way diminishes the kind of pitcher you were. Certainly I defy you to find someone who was as good as you for 20 years. But okay. Like one person.
He has 284 wins. I have 288, 289. What is it?
88.
88.
Yeah, still. But
to 288. I pitched 26 years, and I think Kitty pitched 25 years. Those are pretty
they're pretty
side by
close
side.
stats,
Yeah.
but I mean, still, you're hard pressed to find somebody who is able to keep. You were consistent, right? You were consistently a good pitcher. I mean, a lot of pitchers have extreme. They burn brightly for a short period of time, but you consistently were able to pitch a good game. And so that's why I say I kind of defy you to find, maybe you could find a handful, that, were connected to you. So I think it's wrong that you haven't been acknowledged in that way, but I also think it doesn't diminish the player you were at all.
Answer me this. If I don't get in the Hall of Fame, does that make me less of a human being?
No, not only not less of a human
being, not
even less of a pitcher. Not even less of a pitcher. I think you are arguably in the the top ever of all time pitchers.
Well, I think I am. I really do. I think I am. But getting into the Hall of Fame does not make me better. It just means that I'll get more money when I go to sign cards and pictures and stuff.
Right.
Because I'll put Tommy John, HOF, 24.
Yeah.
Your name is mentioned more than anybody.
Well, yeah, my name is mentioned more than anybody. And it's not about me pitching, it's about the surgery.
Yeah, well, that's true too. I mean, you made the surgery famous for certain. And I think the reason it's famous, in my own opinion, is because you had it and then came back and came back better than ever. I think
that's very intelligent thinking on your part. Because now, if I had the surgery and I didn't come back, would they said, "Oh, you had the Tommy John surgery. You suck."
No, they wouldn't. That's the point. If you had it and weren't able to rebound and able to come back and be the pitcher that you were, then there's no way that surgery is famous, because no one's going to be running to get it. If they have arm trouble and they feel that they wind up having to need the surgery, they're going to think of that as the kiss of death, right? That's like knocking on the door of your career. Instead, you made that have hope. You made people think, oh, you can have that surgery, come back, be better than ever. It's nothing. It's a blip in your season. But otherwise, you're as good as new. And because of that, that's why I think it holds your name, not just because you were the first to have it, but you were the first to have it and show everybody that
you could come back and pitch.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I told Dr. Joe, remember what I said, if you do your job, I will more than do my job. And my job as a pitcher, as a surgery patient, was to rehabilitate. And I did. And I did it very well.
You certainly did. I was talking about batting before, as a pitcher, when you had to get up and bat. And I think when I was young, I was a baseball fan when I was a kid. I was a kid too. I was a Yankee fan. But I remember when the pitchers would come up, I was a little disappointed, right? Because the pitchers weren't great.
Because if you make the good pitch that you should make, a pitcher should make an out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when now they've got, now they've got the designated hitter, and so it's not the same.
It's not the same, but there was something to that, right? There was something to that when the pitcher would come up, and especially you'd get a bunt, and maybe he'd get somebody in, or he'd hit a home run and surprise everyone. Like you said, you had several home runs. But did you like that least? I mean, when you knew, you were in the National League and you were going to have to come up and hit, was that the part of the day of the game you liked the least?
No, I loved it. I loved it. I loved to hit, because what did you do when you were, think about it now. Come on. When you're a kid growing up in Terre Haute, Indiana, you come up to bat, and I wanted to hit. I thought I could hit. Could I? No, but I was okay. But I wanted to hit.
Well, it's an honor to talk to you, and I mean, I really,
Thank
I love. I'm a big fan. I was a fan growing up. I do have your baseball cards. I kept your baseball cards. So
Oh my God.
and I think they actually mean more to me than you. So,
My dad had one thing when I left Terre Haute to go play professional baseball. His advice to me was, Tom, remember who you are and where you come from.
yeah.
You could play 1 month, you could play 20 years, you'll be Tommy John from Terre Haute, Indiana. That's who I am, Tommy John from Terre Haute, Indiana, and I love it.
And I think you're fantastic, Tommy John from
Thank you.
Indiana.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Goodbye. And
Okay. Bye-bye.
we'll speak again.
Hasta luego, baby.